Missy. I'm a little excited about this reading today because I've wanted to get this particular deck here for a while. It's the Mystic Martian Oracle. So what we're going to do is a pick a card reading. We're going to look at your starseed origins. I want to look at what are your starseed origins, and more specifically beyond that, because I've always been very interested in starseeds. I have to admit I don't know a whole lot about them, which is the reason that I wanted this particular deck. But beyond that, you know, what are the crystals that are best suited for each starseed, right? So I want to ask that question today, which is why we have these two decks here. But more importantly, the reason that I'm doing this introduction is because of this particular deck. I just want to warn you before we get into the reading that this deck here is going to be a little bit explicit. It is called, as you can see, I'm not going to say what the title is. It's nicely bleeped out for me right there on the cover of the book. So as you can tell from the title, you know, it's not going to be for the faint of heart, which is exactly what it says on the back of the deck. But it's an awesome deck. Just give it a chance. If you're okay with some explicit content, give it a chance. So this is the box for that particular deck here, and what it says, in case it's not abundantly obvious, this deck is not for the faint of heart. If you clutch your pearls at the sight of aliens wielding phallic probes, this may not be the deck for you. However, if you possess a cosmic one capable of abducting farmers from their land and love all things ray gun and UFO, this deck will help you embrace your power and delve into your own psyche. So we're going to do a reading today looking at the starseed archetypes from this deck. And I want to ask, you know, not just what the starseed archetype is, and we're going to read from the book to see, it has some explanations in there. But I also kind of want to ask, what are you supposed to do with that? As well as, what are the crystals that are best suited for you? And we're going to do it in a pick a card format for each sign. So you'll see this introduction multiple times if you're watching for your sun, moon, and rising, or if you're cross-watching for other signs. Yeah, I think I've said everything that I need to say, other than these readings are meant to be timeless and general in nature. So if the details for this reading fit for your personality, right, because your personality or your situation, because that's really what you're looking at here with these archetypes. So like I say, I wanted to explain that I am not an expert on starseeds. That's the reason that I bought this book. I'm learning about it with you watching this video, or maybe you know more than I do about it. Maybe I'm learning about it and just sharing what I'm learning here with you. But I thought we could explore it together. So you know, just take what comes from this reading only if it resonates for you. If it doesn't resonate for you, don't try to push it. Don't try to force it. You'll do more harm than good. And obviously, I'm not a doctor, lawyer, or accountant. So if you have questions concerning that kind of stuff, you really need to see a professional. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into your reading. Before we get completely into the reading, I want to go ahead and read what it says about starseeds here in the book. Let's see. Okay, so it says, starseeds prior to this or other Earth incarnations have experienced life elsewhere in cosmos other than Earth. Some starseeds have recall activated in their DNA due to Earth's limited recall access biosphere from ancient historical collective trauma. Others have no actual memories at all. All starseeds have an inkling, sensing, or knowing that this incarnation at some point originated and belongs to something somewhere far bigger. Many starseeds have an inner awareness level of consciousness development outside of the predictable mainstream narratives. Starseeds are typically spiritual in nature and have healing energies. Some are very new souls on Earth, while others are very old souls that have experienced many contracted incarnations on Earth to evolve and pass on ancient esoteric wisdoms. The newer souls will be continuing the older souls' work. Different starseeds will naturally resonate towards different aliens and galactic alliances. It is not uncommon for awakening starseeds to have dreams, memories of traveling ET crafts, or experiences of UFO encounters. Starseeds are here now to assist in the transitioning and activation of the collective consciousness on Earth. So, based on what it says there, I'm taking this to mean that, you know, you can belong to one particular starseed family but have interactions from many others. Hello, Pisces. Let's go ahead and get your groups ready to choose from. We're going to get a card from the Mystic Martian Oracle here, and then we'll get one from the Liquid Crystal Oracle. Give me 1 second to finish shuffling. So if I didn't already explain, what we're going to look at is which starseed family you belong to, and which crystals would be the best for you to use. I'm going to have to do something about my my windows before I get all the way into the reading, though. I'm trying to decide, because I thought I was pulling this one, and that one actually came out, which shocked me. And so, oh, and look, there's more underneath that one. That's why that one didn't come out. I don't want to pull too many starseed families. Okay. So leave it here. Okay, and so, sorry, I was distracted by a couple of things there for a second. Forgive me, but that's okay, because I need to get these cards shuffled and the energy cleared. We have the song Cry Pretty by Carrie Underwood. Take that however it resonates. But, so again, what we're looking at here, we're going to look at your starseed family. What are the crystals that would be the best ones for you watching this reading specifically? That doesn't mean all members of this starseed family need these specific crystals, just those who have clicked on this video. And then we're going to look at, like, how are you meant to use the energy of this starseed family? What are you meant to do with it? Or at least with the knowledge of it, right? But it's been pretty, you're the last sign that I am. God, this song is like screaming at me. It's part of the reason I'm so distracted. Let me turn that down. I apologize. So, what was I saying? I don't know. It just went poof right out of my head. Yeah, you know, one thing that I always say in a reading is I don't ever take anything for granted. So if it happens in the reading, it's meant to be in the reading. Once I hit record, like, that's it. It's meant to be there for whatever reason. So whether maybe it's you or someone around you is very distracted, forgetful, something about that energy. And I think I remember now what I was saying about, like, how are you meant to use this energy, right? You are the last sign that I'm recording. Forgive my bird. She doesn't always like it when I do these videos, but it's better to have her here than in the other room screeching, because she doesn't like to be alone. So anyway, again, see, I'm distracted again as I'm trying to explain this to you. Now it's the bird that's distracting me. So there's something about that going on for you guys. Like, maybe, you know, there's a lot of distractions anyway for, like, all of the Pisces that are choosing, that are watching this video. Very interesting. So you are the last sign that I am recording, and every single sign has had advice about how to use the energy. But not all of it has applied to like career or job or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes your purpose in life can be just to exist, you know? Just to exist and be happy and have a happy family so that you can create, you know, the next generation, create happiness around you. And it's interesting too, as I was saying that too, we have the song Cry Pretty. I just realized that's the song in the background. Are you distracted by pain, by all of the things that are making you cry? Is it like keeping you from what you're trying to do? Interesting. I want to pull these other two cards. See, there's something about this energy over here as well where there's either a lot of people involved or I shouldn't say a lot of people involved, like that you're dealing with a bunch of different people, dealing with a bunch of different groups, a bunch of different starseed families. But also there's a lot of crystals that want to come out as well. I'll decide when we get there as to whether or not I want to pull more starseed cards. We'll see what it says when we get to that particular reading and how I feel, because I may totally forget about it between now and then. I don't even know why I'm trying to show you the bottom of the deck, although it is about protection. Interesting. So all of this distraction, people coming in to distract you, there might be something about this group in particular or the people watching this particular group that maybe you need to protect your energy and set boundaries to keep yourself balanced, because that's what black tourmaline does. It's a protection stone, but how it protects you is that it carries light. If you look at a piece of black tourmaline, it has striations along its structure. And so once you get your chakras in balance, then you carry a piece of black tourmaline with you to keep them in balance, because the structure of the crystal carries light along it and down into and through your chakra body. So that's how you're protected. Take that however it resonates for you. And again, look at just it's like you can't make this shit up. Somebody just came to deliver a package to my door. So yet another interruption and distraction. That's what, 3 or 4 already now in the reading. And then we also have the song Forever After All by Luke Combs. So we have group 1, group 2, and group 3. I'm going to go ahead and give you some time to make your choice. Okay, hello group 1. Let me get these out of the way. We're going to get charms at the end of the reading. First, we're going to look at your starseed family, or families in this case, because you have 2. We'll get a couple more crystals and then we'll, excuse me. Then we will look at how you're meant to use the energy, and we'll get some clarifiers with our questionable deck, and then we'll look at the charms to see what you're meant to pay attention to over the next month regarding this situation. Okay. Oh, so we have the MIB and the Arcturians. Very, very interesting combination. And then now we have Kunzite. I always see Kunzite as a family stone, right? It just reminds me of like family. The keywords here are heart activation. But when I say family, like you look at the color of it, there's just something about it that kind of reminds me of like happy childhood bubblegum kind of energy when you look at the color on this card. So the keywords on Arcturians is feeling safe, wisdom keepers, concern, and then with the MIB we have stalking, intimidation, and confrontation. So two very opposite energies connected to the family. Very interesting. Let's go ahead and read what it says about these two star families from the book, and then we'll get some more crystals. All right, it says the MIB, men in black, are also known as Horlocks. Interesting. They are android, biosynthetic humanoids supposedly manufactured by the Alpha Draconians. Encounters with MIB have been recorded since the mid-40s. They typically wear black suits with dark sunglasses and are extremely sensitive to sunlight. More recently, MIB have been reported wearing stylized, sophisticated, and upgraded outfits. Being biosynthetic androids, MIB have a creepy, deliberate, crude, soulless, and strange appearance. Their movements are mechanical, awkward, and often uncoordinated, and their peculiarly emotionless presence is described as spongy and macabre. The MIB make selected intimidation visits to specific people who have had UFO or alien encounters or bizarre paranormal experiences. Witnesses have reported MIB driving black automobiles into canyons, mountains, and tunnels where they appear to have simply dematerialized. So the card meaning is stalking, creepy, intimidation, confrontation, threats, spying, interfering, meddling, clumsy, intrusive, gossiping, petty-minded, and theft. And then in the reverse, we have minding one's own business, healthy boundaries, privacy, confidential, respecting others' space, respecting others' belongings, and walking away. And we have the song. My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark by Fall Out Boy. So now we have the Arcturians. Let's see what they say. It says the Arcturians are from the Boots constellation, 36.7 light years away. They are a fifth and higher dimensional civilization and are the most advanced ETs of our Milky Way galaxy. Arcturians are non-polarized and anchor in conscious awareness of radiant love and healing compassion. Arcturians find third-dimensional space and time a harsh space to experience. However, they have the capacity to exchange lower third-dimensional frequencies by alchemically transmuting them into higher frequencies for a period of time. Arcturians operate within the advanced violet bandwidth of frequencies, which assists them to remain peaceful and connected to all. Without this loving frequency, it is not possible to enter the fifth dimensional portals. They are gentle, private, and quiet race overall and are amazing time travelers of the universe, with the finest starships and state-of-the-art crystal-driven technology. They do not use primitive computer-generated technology. They operate and navigate their ships purely through auras and conscious energy. Arcturians vary in size, some tall, others very small. Their skin colors vary from a range of blue tones to green. They have profound telekinesis and no sicknesses at all. Arcturians have extensive wisdom and cosmic knowledge. The Arcturians were historically responsible for assisting the Pleiadians into ascended awareness during their collective consciousness shifts. The crop circles' elaborate sacred geometry designs are usually the work of Arcturian frequency technology. Arcturians choose to terminate their physical life through agreed contracts for the highest development of their advanced species' well-being at around the age of 400 Earth years. Interesting that about this part here, where it says that they choose to terminate their physical life through agreed contracts for the highest development of their advanced species well-being, meaning for their family, for the best of their family. So the card meaning is that they are the wisdom keepers, feeling safe, concerned, coherent, prudent, emotional intelligence, deep, quiet achiever, trial and error, listening, sensible, soul-searching, reserved, confident, friend, mentor, insightful, rational, and conscientious. And then in the reverse, it's cagey, uptight, bitchy, flippant, irresponsible, irrational, and superstitious. This is a really interesting combination, because when this card, or this first let me tell you the song that's in the background, because it's just catching my attention. Crazy Girl by Eli Young Band. Okay, so the Arcturians, when the card is in the reverse, the energy is bitchy, and kind of, it really fits with the energy here. And then this energy, it's almost like, because you bring in the family dynamic here, right? It's almost like, it's like, I have to read it the way it's coming through. It's like that overly controlling parent, or if it's not a parent-child dynamic, it would be like the spouse that feels that it's okay to like search social media of their partner and like that kind of thing. And it's not because they're willing, you know, they share social media, or their spouse is that open. It's because they're actually spying, and you know, there are things where they're suspicious or whatever, and they're like, you know, they're doing things that are kind of questionable, and intimidating and a little bit scary, because it's like stalking, right? But then we have the song Crazy Girl, like, I don't know, and he's saying, crazy girl, don't you know that I love you? I don't know, it's very kind of, it's kind of wonky energy, I have to be honest. It's kind of wonky energy. I'm going to get some more crystals just to see, because not everyone is going to have or want to work with kunzite. So based on like the beginning, where I was trying to get the piles together, and how I was saying like, God, there's all these distractions, and maybe it has to do with like pain. It's distracting you from what you're meant to do. Oh, hold on, we have another song. Hold on, let me see if I can get the lyrics on this one. And it's exactly 3:33 as this one's coming through. It's the song Break by 3 Days Grace. It says, tonight my head is spinning. I need something to pick me up. I've tried, but nothing is working. I won't stop. I won't say I've had enough. Tonight I start the fire. Tonight I break away. Break away from everybody. Break away from everything. If you can't stand the way this place is, take yourself to higher places. Okay. And then the song goes on from there. You'll want to Google the lyrics to see how it applies to your situation, but it kind of, what I was getting ready to say is, it kind of feels like somebody is obsessed with somebody, like with a past love or something like that. And then there's this element of, I want to say like, maybe, I don't know if it's alcoholism or some sort of like substance, right? It may not be alcoholism. It could just be going out and like drinking to try to forget or something. which really is kind of a Pisces trait. So if you're watching this because you have heavy Pisces in your chart, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Pisces can be known for being, for enjoying their substances. I'll just say it that way. And if it's not Pisces aspects, then it could be like Neptune, heavy Neptune aspects in your chart. Yeah, we'll do 4. No, actually, no. As soon as I laid them down, they said no. But we can put the rhodochrosite on the bottom because I did put it on the bottom of the deck. Okay, and that does fit with this energy over here. But rhodochrosite is more about self-love and this one is more about family, right? Oh, I apologize. So my dog just he just had to push his way through and he hit the thing that has my camera. So anyway, so they're both about love, but this is more about like the family dynamic, like family energy, family love. Heart activation is what it says there, but then we have self-love. So heart activation comes from self-love and respect. Oh, and then you've got iolite and fluorite, vision and mental mastery. Interesting. So what I was saying about this obsession, probably stalking behavior or energy, these 2 cards will help you break that. And I think that's what that song Break was about. Like I say, it could still be that there is some sort of substance abuse or just substance use. If it's not abuse, it's just using substances maybe just on the weekend or something. But although now we have Numb, the song Numb by Extentation. And see, and every single year I'm drowning in my tears. I'm drowning in my tears again. I can't seem to forget the pain I seem to give, the pain I seem to give my friend. And every single year I'm drowning in my tears, I'm drowning in my tears again. So, interesting. Very interesting, because if I remember correctly, you know what? I feel like I need to Google it, because I think this guy, this artist was actually arrested for, and I don't want to say it unless, let me Google, hold on. I may have to pause this video and come right back. Okay, so I looked it up on Wikipedia, and now I don't know, I really don't, I don't claim to be an expert or know a whole lot about this story. I'm just relating what I've seen reported. And the reason that I'm relating what I've seen reported is because it really fits with the energy that was already coming through in the cards. So this song, most especially the artist and the allegations against him, are what is important to this reading. And the allegations of domestic violence and witness tampering that he faced in, I believe it was 2017. March 26th of 2017, he was released from jail on a $50,000 bail while facing charges of robbery and assault with a deadly weapon. His trial for the domestic violence and witness tampering charges was originally going to take place in May. Oh, sorry, I guess he was arrested in 2016 for that and charged, and then he was supposed to face those charges. And so this was it was charges of, in early October, he was arrested later that month on charges of aggravated battery of a pregnant woman, domestic battery, and false imprisonment. So what I was getting at there is that there's this sort of obsession, stalking kind of aspect. So if this is not a parent who is a little overly involved and overly controlling, it's a spouse or partner or possibly even the person watching this video. I don't know, you have to take it however it resonates for your situation, but there is some aspect here of obsession and an inability to get over a past something, a past relationship, something, and they're bringing it up because they're asking you to do that. Hold on, there's another song coming through. There was actually two more. Give me 1 second. So we have Starts With Goodbye by Carrie Underwood, and then we have the song She's All I Want to Be by Tate McRae. So again, you'll want to Google those if you don't already know the lyrics. So let's get some tarot cards and see how you're meant to use this energy. I do feel strongly that these two crystals here, you are meant to use these together in combination to help overcome this obsessive tendency. But why? Like, why are you meant to do that? Obviously, because it's not healthy to be in that energy, but let's see what else they have to say with the cards. All right, so we have the Four of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, which really makes sense because it's saying you're holding on too tightly to something. You need to let go. I mean, if we're talking about money, like if you are watching this and you're like, I don't, what are you talking about? I'm not interested in love. I'm here to see what's going on with my finances. Then it's telling you to save your money. Really? Oh, look at 2 4s together with the Tower underneath, and then the High Priestess. Interesting. Very interesting. Look at how the Emperor's in 2 worlds, right? Could be two-faced, but it's more like 2 worlds. If you look at the skies, or the sky, and even the Earth is different in each world. So he's straddling 2 worlds as well. So because the energy that's on the bottom of the deck is the energy, it's like everything that leads you up to this moment, to where we are right now, where you're watching this reading. What this tells me, especially with this Emperor, because it's so close to this, so the top card is like the most prominent energy from the bottom of the deck. It gets a little weaker as you get further in because it gets further back, right, in the past. This is everything that's happened until you get to the moment that we are in right now. And so looking at this, especially with the Emperor, we've got the Tower underneath the Emperor with the High Priestess, right? You've got this card here where it looks like somebody's apologizing, and this is after some sort of defeat, right? So let's start right here. Ooh, look at Wisdom as well, but we'll start with the Ten of Cups because more than likely this is about like a relationship. So we've got the 2 people here. 10 of Cups is happy energy, happy. You know, they're holding hands. They look comfy, right? They also look like they're drunk. They look like they're drunk. So there's something about substance use or abuse. Now we have, holy shit, what happened? Where'd you go? Wait, huh? What? Right? And the 5 of Swords is a card of defeat. It's because like one person is wanting to win at all costs, and like look at how many faces this girl has right here, and a couple of those faces look a little bit haunted, right? So it could be that there was like arguing happening. There was this relationship, but there was a lot of arguing. One person was probably pretty aggressive and had to win at all costs, basically, right? They always had to be right. We've got all these apologies here. And if we're talking about a domestic violence or domestic abuse situation, right? Hi, that kind of makes sense. Because it's like you start out with this really good energy and then suddenly it flips. You're like, where'd you go? Like, this isn't, I don't know you. Like, where'd you go? Like, hold on. I thought this was, hi, I thought this was you. What happened? Look at how awkward she looks. Look at her legs. She even looks kind of scared. Like, she can't really hold on to that sword there. She looks haunted. Right? And so, anyway, then you get over to here. Oh, I'm so sorry. But nobody looks happy here. And the Knight of Swords is harsh words. And then we've got the High Priestess. This is like, I intuitively know, like, this is not good for me. But more so than that, I intuitively know that this is where I'm headed. And I need to get out. And I say that, I think you got out before it got to this. Or somebody said, I need to get out before it gets to this. And it was because of all of this right here. So also we have the song, hold on, Iris, the Goo Goo Dolls. So anyway, this is, I intuitively know, because the tower, really, the tower, if you look at the imagery of the tower, you'll see typically they've either jumped or they've been pushed, right? But you don't see that here. There's no figures, people, anything coming out of that tower but flames, right? There's lightning hitting it. And there's actually a sun coming up over the horizon right there. The sun is always joy, clarity, happiness, good things to come, right? And it's coming up over the horizon, meaning it's just starting to come because of this tower right here, which is the destruction of what was happening before, which was unhealthy. But they haven't been pushed and they haven't had to jump, which means they got out in time. They got out in time because she saw it coming, or somebody saw it coming. And then here we are with the Emperor. This is like, I'm so close to being on the other side of this pain. And it's interesting that this kind of looks like a heart over here and it looks like a flame on this side, right? So it's like, and then you've got the world around his neck on this, he's wearing the world around his neck. It's like he has dominion over his heart, over his passion, but beyond that, he's living in two worlds, but he's stepping into this new world from the pain, right? It's just, there's this need to let go. You're holding on too tight. And also there's wisdom. So before they're like, you can look at this big ass apple. It's so heavy, this apple. It's like, it just bent the top of the tree, right? There's stuff coming, I guess, what is that? A little fairy putting a flower in it, right? Or whatever. But anyway, look at how big that apple is. So apples represent wisdom. That came before this. So that tells me that this relationship here was meant to teach you. It was meant to bring you this. This was your gift from that relationship. It may have hurt, but it gave you a whole hell of a lot. Look at how big that apple is. Like, damn. Seriously. So it's saying, you might be holding on a little too tightly to something. Also, with this Hierophant here, it could have been you didn't even see this relationship coming, and that's one of the reasons that it's so hard to let go. Because look at, you see right here, coming out from underneath, like, it's like, I don't know exactly if that's a girl, a boy, what, coming out from underneath, like coming out of hiding. So you got one person coming out of hiding or coming out of nowhere, sneaking up behind the other person while they're working, right? And he's like, where'd you come from? Where the hell did you come from? Right? So anyway, very interesting. But let's look at this, since that was the past that brought you to where we are now. we have the Five of Wands, the Two of Cups, and the Three of Cups. Very interesting. So the Five of Wands is like competition, right? Look at all those girls. They look like they're doing like a trapeze act or something, right? But they look like they're all working together, and that's one of the messages of the Five of Wands. It's friendly competition, or I like to think of it as like, if you are athletic and let's say you play baseball, this is going to be the energy of the team, the whole team. You may not like each other, but you are going to work together as a team. And you are still going to compete with each other to see who's the best on the team, but you are still a team. So there's no, like, the conflict that happens here, it can be difficult to deal with, but it's not the same kind of conflict that you would get in the Five of Swords, where someone is doing something dirty, right? This is, everyone is doing exactly what they're meant to be doing, and if you're pissed about it, you really don't have a reason to be, because you're still a team, right? Like, of course there's going to be competition. It's kind of how I always feel about the Five of Wands, but this one in particular kind of really feels that way. And then you see one girl leaping over the rest. You see that at the top? She's leaping over the others, taking the lead. Here she is now in this relationship. So she's leapt over the other girls. You know, she was a leap above all of the other girls in competition. It's saying, the here you are together, this would be the present energy. I don't know if that's right now or not. You know your situation better than I do. But then here's what's happening, you know, in the immediate future. And this is, although it's the Three of Cups, it's a card of celebration. It's a party of one. I've been saying it in every reading that I've done for this Starseed series so far, because I've used this deck. This is the only deck that I've used. So every time the Three of Cups has come out, you know, it's a party of one with some friends, but those aren't people. Those are her pets. So she's drinking alone. And we already knew that there was this energy of like substance abuse or use. It may not be full on abuse, but I think there's definite like using alcohol to kind of numb yourself, numb the pain. And I think you're meant, and we, by the way, we have the song, It's About to Get Heavy, or sorry, but that's what he's saying. Oh, it's devil shine down. Now I'll explain that in just a second, but where he's saying it's about to get heavy, it's about to be on. Hold on. I've been sent to warn you, the devil's in the next room. Interesting, when we've got this stalking energy again, I'm just telling you, you're going to want to Google these lyrics. It says, now you pack your bags, the party's such a drag, and everyone can tell that you're poisoning the well, but there are no mistakes except what you create. You need to know your place, because it's about to get heavy. Heavy, 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 heavy. It's about to be on. Yeah, I'm banging, singing napalm, or banging, slinging napalm. So nobody move, because I was sent to warn you, the devil's in the next room. Oh, and then it goes on to say, the silence, the blinding ultraviolence, knocking at your door, pacing back and forth. What now, the whispers and the screams, the stereotypical profiling ritual, vicious and obscene. I think you need to get out of this situation. But I think you also need to get, you know, there's talking about this party of one that's going on. Also, what's very interesting, oh, I thought it went silent, but it didn't. See, it was talking about the silence in that song, and I thought it went silent, but it didn't. Now it's Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight, which is, I can feel it coming in the air tonight, oh Lord, and I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Can you feel it coming in the air tonight, oh Lord? Well, if you told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. Like, dude, this reading is harsh. Let's get some clarifiers from our explicit, and I shuffled before I even started this reading just to clear the deck, and you're the first one I've done since I did the shuffling to clear the deck. This is what's on the bottom. And I've been saying this for every reading, look at how sad their eyes look. It's like they want to be together, but they cannot probably because of this energy here. And I know I'm focusing on love, and we did have this family energy come through here. So if this is family energy, you know, of course that is confirmation for you, but I'm reading it as a romantic connection because we haven't had like the 10 of Pentacles, the 6 of Pentacles, anything else that would really make me think that, you know, this was like, that there were any children involved in this dynamic, I should say. Because I don't see any anywhere in any of this so far. Okay. Look at defensive energy. He looks very, very angry here, right? But this, the Seven of Wands, that's what this card is, even though it is the Seven of Probes. But the Seven of Wands is, it's card of having the upper hand. It's because you hold the better position, you hold the higher ground. It's also a card of defending yourself, defending your position, defending your choices. So again, remember everything on the bottom of the deck it's about the energy that's led you to where we are right now in this reading. Oh, so you've had to defend yourself to a King of Cups, which, you know, also look at, he's got 2 cups in his hand, so he's offering his love to 2 people. Very interesting. I don't know how that applies. So it could be that we have a water sign and an earth sign in this dynamic. Interesting. There's not a lot of like, okay, there's where the pain is. I was like, there's not a lot of like pain. This is all fairly healthy, you know, like even if you look at their faces, not a single person looks bothered. And then here's the pain right here. Maybe this is like something, oh, look at, and there's the devil. Remember the song Devil? I meant to explain that. So the song Devil, Shine Down, it was just like, not only what it was that they were saying about, you know, he's knocking at your door, the name of it, because we had the devil card somewhere. It was in one of these, I think it was in the tarot cards, but this energy, the energy of substance use, substance abuse, but also obsession, control, stalking, all of that, that is what the devil card in tarot, you know, that's what it is, what it means. It's all that, look at right there. He's happily controlling his 2 pets. And that can, you know, that can apply to the person that's obsessed and stalking, right? Look at underneath that. Okay. I mean, okay. But anyway, so maybe this energy is kind of far back. Maybe somebody was arrested with that 8 of Swords coming out. Could involve a water sign and an earth sign. We have Pisces. Like you can, well, this could be any water sign. It's not a major arcana, but this one here would definitely be Pisces energy because it's the Hanged Man, right? Anyway. Let's look at these for what they want to talk about. It feels like it goes like this. Interesting how I felt like I wanted to flip them around. They both have basically the same meaning, just slightly different, right? With the Six of Swords, what's happening there when it talks about moving on to something better, what's happening there is typically you've been helped or rescued in some way. Like if you're looking at traditional Rider-Waite, you would see a ferryman helping a woman. Sometimes there might be a child, or maybe she'll have luggage or whatever. He's helping her into the boat, and then helping her to navigating her across the water, right? Sailing, what do you call it? I don't know, sailing across the water. So she's been helped or rescued in some way, right? Or the person has been rescued in some way. But then when you come over here to the Eight of Cups, it's the same energy. The only difference is that the decision to leave, and it's like you haven't been saved. It's your own decision, your own effort, your own whatever that you've put in to find something better. So maybe in the past you've had help, you've had support, maybe somebody helped you to escape this situation here, right? And then I think you did a lot of there was a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of I don't know. I think you were in a lot of depressive energy for a while, maybe. And then we have the Eight of Cups, which is now I see what's missing, right? Because I think there was shadow work. And look at Ten of Ray Guns. And we have the song, Another One Bites the Dust, Queen. So the ten of Ray Guns, it's basically the same energy as the moon, which is all about depression and all of that, betrayal. You've been focusing on all of that. Where do I go from here is what the Eight of Cups is saying. Maybe that's the energy that you're in right now. You've already left, or you've already gotten rid of all of this violent energy in the past here. And like I say with that Emperor card, I think you've really done, you're on the last step. You just have to let go of it now. Stop being stuck in your head about it, because that's what the Swords energy is always going to be mental. Cups energy is always going to be emotional, right? So what it's saying, especially with these two crystals here, iolite and fluorite, it's saying you're stuck in your head about all of this energy from the past, and that's what's stopping you from finding your Nine of Cups, which is the next step after the Eight. And before the 10. And so in the Nine of Cups, that's your wish fulfilled. But it's a wish that's fulfilled because you fulfill it yourself. You're not relying on anyone else to do it for you. And that's what they were trying to say with all of this. That how you're meant to use this energy is to save yourself, basically. You're meant to save yourself. You're meant to be your best hero, your own hero. I am going to go ahead and move on to the charms to see what it is that they want you to be aware of, what's next over the next month regarding this energy. Okay. Oh, I almost grabbed the wrong thing. Okay. Make sure we have this set for Pisces rising. So this can be for Pisces, sun, moon, or rising, but I'm going to read this the way that I would a transit chart in astrology. And I apologize for the lighting. It's getting late in the day. I was a little busy today, and so I'm a little later getting this recorded. We have the song Shivers, Ed Sheeran. So anyway, we're going to read this the way that we would a transit chart. Interesting that you're coming out in your own reading right here, but you're upside down. So everything that falls upside down on the board, I read that as energy that you are either unaware of at this time. Maybe that means you just don't see any kind of evidence of it at all. There's no energy in the air, nothing for you to be aware of because it just hasn't come in there. It hasn't even started to come into your energy, or it's in your energy and you just haven't noticed it yet, or maybe you're ignoring it altogether, right? So if it falls in the center, I typically read that as your main message. What is the main thing that you need to be aware of or pay attention to over the next month? You don't really have anything in the center other than the what I call my sleepy moon, and then the cross. And then the sleepy moon is connected to the charm that says hope, that's in your 7th house. So we've been talking about romantic relationships throughout this entire reading. The 7th house happens to be the house of partnerships, marriage, contracts, anyone that you are promised to and responsible for. It can also be business partnerships, and people who you know oppose you. So these are people that you know are your enemies, right? You know they don't like you. But I think because of all of this energy here, you've been hoping and praying, and like I think you still have hope because it's in the upright, and you definitely have reason to hope. It's also saying have faith, especially now we're having the cross come out over the 8th house, right? That tells me that like with the 8th house, one of the aspects of it can speak to like new beginnings, or like it's like the phoenix rising from the ashes, right? Transformation. Something ends, but that brings in a new beginning. And we saw that with the tower, where intuitively you or whoever it was that left like knew that the tower was going to fall and was like, I need to get out now, right? And so because of that, and because of that faith, right, there's like this renewal. Also with this particular moon, because he always kind of reminds me of like the sleepy moon, right? Like you would see somebody in illustrations. I always expect to see a person lying across the crescent, this part of the moon here, because you've seen that in images so many times, right? And that's just every time I see it, I kind of feel that with this. So, and there's something about at night, like if you're going out at night or something, you're like, either you're going out at night or you're like dreaming, right? Maybe you're dreaming, either these are actual dreams of your person, or you're fantasizing at night. And you know what I mean? If like, I'm not going to get too explicit with that, but like you're fantasizing, right? Meaning you're manifesting. Let's see what this, oh, interesting. Okay. So this particular rune, it's like the rune of like hail, right? It's like a hailstorm is kind of what the energy is, right? Or it's disruption, right? Destructive forces, but they're also creative. But what's so interesting about that, and it's also transformative forces, but what's interesting about that is that I always associate this particular rune with the Tower card, with Uranus energy, because it's something that happens suddenly, like a lightning storm or a hailstorm. It happens suddenly out of the blue, and it's very destructive, right? Like at the Tower card. And you don't see it coming. And with this, you didn't see it coming. But I think what's happening with this energy here, because I was just talking about this destruction with the 8th house, and because the 1st house is sitting directly across from your 7th, I touched on a little bit about how this is everyone who's opposed to you is in your 7th house, but this is also your partners. This is your other half, right? Like your the person that you're looking at or speaking to, right? You're bouncing ideas off because it's your partner. You're side by side, right? Well, not side by side, but you know what I mean. Like, because you're interacting with each other. You're looking at each other and interacting. I think whatever these fantasies are, or whatever these dreams are, I think you don't realize, God, I gotta be real. I think you don't realize, like, because of the creative aspect, right? I think you may not realize, because it's something that's going to affect you personally with this particular rune, this hailstorm, this sudden energy that comes in. And it's, to me, it's directly connected to all of this here. So have hope. I think it's good, especially because sitting in your 12th house, which is your blind spot, meaning what you don't see coming. Also, being that if you have a Pisces ascendant, that means Aquarius rules your 12th house. And in modern Western astrology, Uranus rules the 12th house, and we were just talking about this Uranus energy here and how I think it's creative and positive. Then we see in this 12th house ruled by Aquarius and Uranus, we've got the Christmas bells. They were upside down, okay, but they are still Christmas bells. And what do Christmas bells signify? They signify joy. They signify the birth, right? That, you know, you ring the bell to announce something. So being upside down, like maybe it's something that's happening around Christmas for you. Could be a relationship. Could be something that is announced around Christmas that you don't see coming. We have the song, hold on, Falling Apart, Papa Roach. But I still think this is good energy. It's something that makes you feel very joyful that you just don't see right now. You're not aware of it. You don't see it. You're ignoring it. Something. In your 11th house, we have the bee. So, you know, this could be like if you're networking, it's very abundant, very positive energy for you. Like you're a busy bee. Maybe you have a lot of friends. You could be also very creative. Especially because the bee coming out over this 11th house, again, if you're a Pisces ascendant, Capricorn rules this house. Capricorn is like a worker. They work very hard. And so literally, I think you've already been hard at work, and it's going to be very abundant for you. And then when we come to the 10th house, which is what Capricorn would rule in a blank chart, right? Like if it was just set at 0 for everything. You have, God, I meant to look this up, but I cannot for the life of me remember what kind of stone this is. It is, however, one of my all-time favorite stones, and I should know, because it always makes me feel so like connected, right? Like it's like a deep, nurturing ancestral stone. It's a deep, earthy stone. Like look at see those orbs there? This is a shaman stone, in my opinion. At least that's what I use it for. But ooh, interesting. So I read crystals too, and I'm actually seeing the face of the moon here, and I'm seeing a fetus here. So for those who are, you know, and again, I'm not a doctor, lawyer, or accountant. I advise that you would seek a doctor, please. But if you're wanting a baby, it's possible, maybe even like you might even find out, or there could be an announcement of a baby in December or something. This is coming out over the 10th house, which is the house of like career, but it's also your reputation. Having the stone that has ancestral energy attached to it coming through this house. This can be the house of whichever parent it was that taught you how to go out into the world and gather resources that you can then bring back home to the 4th house to sustain your family, right? To sustain your security. Again, I feel like there's kind of a message here attached to that as well, almost like they're proud of you or something because of the reputation attached to it. I feel like it's saying they're proud of you. I normally wouldn't use this or read this as as a mediumship message. Maybe you need to meditate. Maybe that's what they're saying. Maybe they're asking you to meditate so that they can connect with you without you having to have me say anything, right? But I really do feel very strongly that this is right now a mediumship message that's coming through for someone, possibly from their father. It feels kind of strong that it's your father. I don't know, I could be wrong, but anyway, just take it however it resonates. Look at the stars. If you're into astrology, look at the stars. The astrology is important. Also, I oh God, I think it was just yesterday that Jupiter went direct too in Pisces. In Pisces. Hold up. Hold up. Yeah, I'm almost certain. I will actually look it up to see exactly what degree. Maybe you need to look up your chart to see what degree that is. So I'll make myself a little note. But anyway, there it is again. The fetus, the moon. We have the song, hold on. Big Papa, the Notorious B.I.G. So let's come to these houses here because I was so focused up here from what was going on. This is, by the way, everything on the upper half of the chart is what's happening in your outer world, right? Everything that's on the bottom half is what's happening in your inner world. Also day, night. I don't know why I felt the need to explain that, but maybe somebody needs to know that, maybe especially because you're looking at your chart here. Coming over to your second house, I love that this is here. So if you were worried about money, or like if there was some confusion over finances, I feel like the confusion is clearing up because of this particular charm. It's the sun, but if you can see that face that's in there, it looks like they're illustrating that he's blowing, right? That he's blowing wind out of his mouth. So to me, it's like he's blowing the confusion away. He's blowing all the extra away to bring clarity to this area for you. Also, if there were any blockages, anything like confusing, like the situation or whatever, that's being cleared up. In the third house, we've got the star, interesting. And then we've got this is where you come in. This is the Pisces charm that came in upside down. So it's like, especially with these two together, see where you have Pisces in your chart. So if you are a Pisces sun, that's going to be important for you. If you're a Pisces moon, if you're a Pisces ascendant, or actually if you are really into astrology, you probably already know that you can watch these tarot readings, these charm readings, based on any one of those houses in your chart, literally. If you want to know about work, you would read based on your sixth house, which sign is sitting and rules your sixth house. If you want to know about marriage, you look to your seventh house. So if you have a Pisces ascendant, that seventh house is going to be Virgo. You want to look and see, what's happening in your chart with Virgo, and also anything, that in the transits that's aspecting that. So you would already know, like, basically that, you can watch these readings for any area of life that you're going through, right? So I feel like what this is saying, with this coming out in the communication house, these two charms together, like there's something about your own personality that you are not communicating in some way, or there's another Pisces coming in that you're dealing with that may be a huge help for you in some way, that maybe you just don't see that right now. But I think, and when I say a help, it could be healing, or maybe they help you to like shine or to express yourself in some way, right? Because this is the house of communication. But I really feel this is more about how you communicate. It's like you don't see something. Look at how I just noticed that the little star touching this star here. I think they definitely want you to look at the house in your chart that Pisces rules. That's where you're going to shine the most. Again, if you're a Pisces ascendant, that's going to be your first house. This is all about your personality. But if it's one of the others, sun, moon, one of the other planets, then, it could be any one of the houses. So there's something about that, something about you, how you communicate in relation to that house, or where you have Pisces in your chart, that you are not paying attention to, maybe you're not aware of. I think that could be very beneficial for you. Also maybe even healing, but I think you need to let it shine. They want you to bring it out. Let it shine, let it shine. With the fourth house, we've got the hair comb, and then we have the piece of tourmalated quartz. So I always see the hair comb as like First of all, pay attention to your appearance, right? So when it comes to your house or your home, they want you to beautify your home in some way. Maybe even clean your house. Actually, I thought this was tourmalated quartz, and I'm wrong. This is actually a piece of, oh God. Oh my God, it's moss agate. It's a piece of moss agate, and it's shaped in a square. You see that? It's shaped in a square. It came that way. I don't remember how, but it came that way. So to have it shaped in a square, which represents the number 4, coming out in the 4th house when they're talking about your home. Let me turn a light on real quick. So when they're talking about your home and the need to either beautify, prep, prepare, clean, something, right? Get ready. But I think you've already kind of done that. I think things are like you kind of already, like with it being in the upright, it tells me you might already have a knack for that. It's just like spruce it up, because there's fertility attached to this moss agate here in this 4th house. And interesting also that Gemini is sitting on this 4th house. Again, this is more communication. So maybe you have some sort of ability, like interior design. Maybe there's something about interior design. Interesting also that we have believe in love coming out over the 5th house, which is your house of romance. It can also be the house of children, and creative, anything creative that you do, anything that brings joy and happiness. But you've got, again, it says believe in love, and then you have the other charm that says go, see, explore, which is actually sitting on both. It's on the cusp of the 5th and 6th houses, so it's straddling both houses. And the numbers attached to this are 365, so literally 365 days a year, if those numbers are not important for you anyway. But, you know, go, see, explore out over those 2 houses is saying, like, I kind of feel like it could happen at work. It could be somebody that you meet at work. It could be attached to work. If it's not attached to work, if you provide some sort of charity or service in some way, it could be attached to that. It's like any day of the week. It's saying like all 365, like every single day of the year, it is possible, right? You just have to get yourself out there. Also, with this hair comb, make sure you look good 365 days a year. It's going to be important because it builds your security. It really boosts your security and your confidence. And you want that confidence to be at its utmost when you meet this person. We have the song, hold on. When Legends Rise, Godsmack. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that here. If it does not resonate, please watch for your sun, moon, or rising. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, hit the notification bell. Anything that you can to help me, because it really, really does help me. And I thank you very much for watching. Oh. Hello, group 2. I am so sorry for this, and I'm so sorry for the lighting. I'm trying to do this. It got dark. It's late. I thought I was recording your video. I hate my computer sometimes because literally the touchpad on my laptop, you think you're tapping something. It's not actually tapping. I thought I was recording and it wasn't. So, you know, because we did a pick a card and you had certain cards, it's not like I can just go back and redo the reading. Like, I'm so disappointed. Oh my God. And one of the problems with this is that when I'm doing these readings, I am channeling. And Oh my God, it's so, like, this is, I can't believe that this happened, because that was what the message of your reading was. It had to do with channeling. So let me explain what I'm getting ready to say, and then we'll talk about channeling, or we'll talk about your reading, I should say. Let me talk about channeling first, because that's what came through in your reading, which is very important. Maybe you were not meant to hear the other message so much as you were meant to hear what I have to say about channeling, because I've been doing this for a while. And I feel like maybe you recently discovered that you're a channel, or that you have clairvoyant abilities. Maybe you had some sort of vision that you weren't prepared for, or something happened connected to this mantis being's energy. And I will read from the card again, even though I thought I was recording last time and wasn't, but I will read from it again just to bring home what I'm bringing out here. So as you can see from these two crystals, what came out perfectly matches our mantis being here. The color of it, the green and blue, which led me to recall a certain crystal that I have, but I don't have it in my charm box. So then I went to Google. I found this particular website that was selling it. They had this description. It's called Atlantisite. It's this green and purple. It's a mix of serpentine and stickite. It's a channeling stone. It's one that I use when I channel. So with the mantis beings being elusive and sensitive and being connected to higher wisdom and things like that, it was very clear to me that you were meant to be a channel. And more than that, because this is Pisces, and Pisces energy is ruled by Neptune, there's clairvoyance attached to that. And so it came through in the reading, and I can't remember every card that came through, and there's no way for me to reconstruct the reading, so I just have to tell you about the reading. It came through that more than likely you were kind of shocked by this. It also came through some information about a relationship that shocked you, or will shock you if you don't already know. Like you weren't prepared for it. It just happened. It's somebody who's very overprotective and larger than life. Their personality, they just kind of shock you, and you're a little bit scared to be in this relationship, but you're meant to heal that. And the reason that you're meant to heal that has to do with this channeling. I think you're meant to be a channel, and you're meant to deliver your message to people if you don't already. Now, these crystals came out because you were meant to use these in meditation in order to get yourself grounded, so that you can communicate what it is that you see when you're channeling. And I do feel very much that this is clairvoyant, like it's coming through as clairvoyant energy, but it could just be like dream time if it's not, when you're awake having clairvoyance, right? Anyway, so you're meant to use imperial topaz with garnet in combination on your root chakra in meditation. Now you might want to take a quick screenshot of these, because if you don't have these crystals, you can use the screenshot in a couple of ways. You can use the entire screenshot, the crystal devas, which are the figures that you see there that are holding up these sigils, okay? The sigils will bring in a different energy than the deva. The deva energy is going to be very strong. You're bringing in the spirit of the crystal itself to something. But if you just want to bring in the energy of the crystal, right, use the sigil. That means you would take and draw those sigils anywhere to bring in the energy of confident manifestation or manifestation of your purpose. But you want to be grounded when you do that. So this is why you're going to use this in meditation. And I think your purpose is to be a channel. Now over here, what you're going to put on your throat chakra in meditation is a combination of zircon and turquoise. So again, the sigil will be to bring in the energies of life changes, and you want to bring in the spirit of the earth, okay? Maybe you channel earth, the energies of the earth in some way. But again, you want to use the crystal deva to bring in the spirit of the crystal, or the sigil to bring in the energy of life changes or the spirit of the earth. So you might want to take a screenshot of those. So what I was going to say about channeling and why I can't just start the reading over, and I don't remember which cards came through and exactly what I said. I don't even remember the songs that came through, although I could probably go back and list them through from my Pandora if you give me a second. And it's because if you have done channeling work, you would already know this, that when you're channeling, you don't remember what you've said because you're like the radio station. You've been tuned to the right frequency. You're just there as an open channel. You're not the one, you're not, the information is not coming from you. It's coming from a higher source, which means you're not going to remember what you've said. And I don't remember what I said. I don't remember all of the specifics. I just remember that it was these cards here for the crystals, and that, you were meant to be a channel. You might even want to find Atlantisite. That might help you. But I think you're meant to wear peridot and amethyst together. The message of amethyst is humility and peridot is the bringer of joy. I think whatever you channel, I think the visions that you have are going to bring joy to a lot of people. But they want you to beware of becoming arrogant about it. Like they want you to have humility with it. If you've never channeled before, this is your warning. Like when you channel, you're going to want to have something recording somewhere because you're not going to remember what you said. If you do automatic writing, you'll have it written down. But if your channeling comes in dream time, you need to have a journal next to your bed, a notepad and pen next to your bed, so that you can write everything down that you can remember before, like as soon as you open your eyes, before you get out of bed, before you do anything else, write it down, right? Otherwise you'll forget. So I don't remember everything that it said about this relationship other than you were surprised by it. Let's see what the songs were. Very interesting that we have Caught Up in the Rapture by Anita Baker. But so Repercussions by B. Miller was one of them. Make Yourself by Incubus. Take It to the Limit, the Eagles. I Love Your Girl, The Dream. That when that song came on, I remember now that I felt like somebody had a crush on you and like you were not prepared for them. River, Bishop Briggs. Under Pressure, Queen. Head Over Heels, The Go-Go's. And Medicate, Theory of a Dead Man. Yep, I think that was it. Okay. There's a couple more in there, but I don't remember calling them out, so I don't think they were catching my attention at the time. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read from the book what it says about the mantis beings, and I can't remember anything about the charms. Like, that's the thing, the charms typically tell you, like, what do you need to be aware of over the next month regarding this energy. I don't remember anything about the charms, so I think that one I am definitely going to do again. The only reason that I'm not going to go to the tarot cards again is because part of what we were asking, part of the question that we were asking here is, what are you meant to do with this energy? You are very clearly meant to be a channel. So I think the reason that, you know, maybe I thought when I touched that pad, the keypad, the touchpad on my laptop, when I thought that I hit record, but it wasn't actually recording, like maybe you weren't meant to hear that message. Maybe you're meant to hear this one right here. And I keep saying it over and over in every one of my readings. Anything that happens in a reading is meant to be a part of that reading. So the fact that that reading was lost means that it was meant to be. So let's read what it says from the book about the mantis beings, and then I'll go ahead and pull some charms for you. It says, some consider the mantis beings to be one of the most mysterious. It is said they originated from the Virgo constellation in the Sombrero Galaxy, some 29 million light years from Earth. Certain factions also reside in the Draco constellation. Mantis beings are bipedal, standing up to 10 feet tall with additional joints on their long, spindly limbs. They have an exoskeleton body that ranges in colors from greens to browns to blacks. Their neck, arms, and hands have additional joints, and they are insectoid in appearance, similar to Earth's praying mantis. They have sometimes been associated with abduction and contactee phenomena, and reports claim they have an oily covering substance on their body for reasons that are still speculative. Ancient Egyptian, Aboriginal, and African mythologies make reference to these beings. Reports say the mantis beings' culture revere the matriarchal social structure and that they honor subtle feminine receptive frequencies to maintain a heightened, tuned-in awareness. Pay attention to that part, all right? To the subtle feminine receptive, meaning you cannot be afraid of this, frequencies to maintain a heightened, tuned-in awareness. They are masters of sound and color vibrations, and now that I read that, I remember the guitar and the ballerina coming up in the charms reading from before, and how important it was for you to be very graceful, and you may have to dance around an emotional situation. That was coming in very clearly. There was also, now that I'm thinking about it, I remember it very clearly now. It's coming back. There was also the message of possibly deception from your friend circle. There's a friend who was leaving your life. We had something about Scorpio, maybe not seeing eye to eye with Scorpio, or someone that you spend time with on a daily basis. So this could be in your work environment. There was the message of being strong, that because of this friend leaving your life. I think there was this deception around this friend, possibly even in connection to a romantic situation. Okay, so we have they are masters of sound and color vibrations, both in healing, presence, and in maintaining an altered state of higher consciousness. These essential practices are also carried through the mantis beings' cultural ceremonies to maintain a highly evolved civilization. They are telepathic and, like the blue avians, have a highly sophisticated, sentient, spherical orb force field technology for interdimensional time travel. Some say they are the silent overlords that monitor and observe the cosmic species' spiritual progress. So remember, Atlanticite, there's the myth of Atlantis and how they had higher knowledge and technology that were lost. So if you are a channel for messages from Atlantis in some way, it has to do with, spiritual progress. So the card meaning is enigma, elusive, sensitive, altered states of consciousness, high vibrations, dance. Remember what I said about the ballerina? So dance coming up with the ballerina makes sense. Open-minded, ceremony, celebration, foresight, overseer, movement, observation, matriarchal, manager. In the reverse, they are obvious, literal, stagnant, artless, redundant, and narrow-minded. I also felt with the guitar and the ballerina coming out, now that I'm reading the dance, I remember saying it, you could be involved in like dance music or being on stage in some way, which doesn't surprise me with Pisces energy at all. We have the song Through Glass by Stone Sour. So let's go ahead and get some more charms to see what you need to be aware of over the next month regarding this energy. Well, I felt like it was almost none, but now that I look at it, there's more than I thought. Interesting that you have the Angelite coming out in the first house, but I forgot to explain if it falls off the board. I read that as, longer than a month. So how close it is to the board, I would say within 2 months, right? This would be the second month after you watch this reading. You have this angelite or an angel coming in. Like there's an angel coming to your rescue in some way is the way that I want to read that. So take it however it resonates. You do have a lot of energy here in the center. Anything that falls upside down on the board, I read as, oh, look at the ballerina is back. Interesting. Anything that falls upside down on the board, I read that as energy that either you are not aware of or that you're ignoring, right? But with it falling in the very center of the board, it tells me you need to pay attention to this. So we have be you bravely. So you're ignoring the advice to be yourself. You don't want to be yourself. Why? We also have this hot air balloon. So there's a need to see things from a higher perspective, right? Because you can see things clearly if you can see them from a higher perspective. And then we have the number 576. We have my happy moon, but again, it's upside down. So the reason I call this my happy moon is because if you look at it closely, it has this filigree design in the center that kind of looks like hearts and flowers, right? So I call it my happy moon. Meaning you feel really happy, but like it's upside down. Like maybe there's something coming in that has to do with once you see things from a higher perspective, you'll feel better. You might not see it right now, but like, oh, look at, you have a second moon that came out in the center, but it came out over the 8th house, 8th and 9th houses, but it is the 8th house. So that is a house of endings, and that makes sense with the ballerina here, because what I was saying before about how you were going to have to be very graceful and a kind of dance around an emotional issue, and there was the possibility of someone leaving your life from your friend circle or your wider network. And so, you know, with the moon coming out, again, this is your emotions or an emotional issue that is ending with the ballerina. So this is just kind of putting a confirmation on, yes, I was meant to tell you that before, I was meant to remember that, but it's also hitting the very center. So it's something you need to be aware of right now over the next month, right now and over the next month regarding this situation. And so we also have here the $100 bill that came out upside down. So this is the house of endings. It's also joint resources. There could be a loss attached to this, but we have this key. And so whatever this loss is, I think that there's something about it that is the key that is also like the puzzle piece. So you see this triquetra in the center of this key, right? I always see that, and for my, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to touch the camera. That was an accident. I always see that as that little tiny plastic piece that you would put over the center of your turntable so that you could play a 45, right? Or a single. Like like for music, if you are musically inclined, and remember the guitar came out in the other reading that I thought was recording but was not, right? So maybe there's something about whatever this ending is, right? But again, that the key coming with the ballerina kind of makes me think of the guitar, because the guitar was with the ballerina before. So there's more musical energy coming through with this, because I always see this key as being the key that is what, you know, makes you able to listen to that single, that one song, right? Maybe you need to pay, if you make music, you need to pay to create your single. Like maybe this is your higher self saying this is your last shot, like you know this is your last shot. Also, if it comes to anything that you need to study with that, take a chance, take your shot. You know you need to. It's the gun is hitting your 9th and 10th houses. The 10th house is your career. It's also your reputation. The gun can represent, it's a revolver, so you have 6 chances with a revolver, right? Is this your first shot, or is it your last shot? Only you know how many bullets are left in that gun. It is like it's sitting like this, right? It's sitting like this, meaning upside down. It should be like that if you were going to actually shoot it. So maybe you haven't even picked it up yet. Maybe you haven't even loaded it yet. I don't know. Maybe it's going to take some money to do that, or you just haven't taken the chance because you're scared or something. You need to take the shot, take the chance. Let's put it this way. But interesting, though, that when you do it this way, it's aiming towards your 10th house, towards your career. So let's not forget that. It's like maybe there's something you need to study. Maybe there's something you need to pay for. You need to go and find someone. It could be something legal that you need to do because of the 9th house. But I kind of lost track, and I forgot to look at the last 2 charms that are in the center, which is what should be your main focus. Maybe all of it should. But you have the elephant coming out. The elephant is all about family, right? Family support. So really pay attention to your family over the next month. That's going to be very, very important. There's also an ancestral, something about any passed on loved ones. They're coming through to say that they support you. They're helping you through this, like their memory is long. And then we have the star coming out, and it came out over your 2nd house. But that was also in your, in the very center. So the star is like they want you to shine. So, and interesting, now that I think about it, I remember you did have a different star that came out over the 2nd house in the last reading that I thought was recording but didn't. And I read that at that time as you need to allow your personal values to shine. Allow them to shine. That's going to be, it's going to be like a wish, or something like you want to shine this month. Allow your values to shine. Also, we have with the 3rd house, this particular sun that I always kind of see as a star or a planet that is radiating its light, because it's sort of like a little ball. You see that, how it's got a little ball there? So it's round, like a globe or a planet with rays coming off of it. But it is actually the sun. This charm is meant to be the sun. I just see it as a star or a planet. So let the stars guide you, or let the planets guide you when it's coming out with the lighthouse. Let the planets light the way, but also use your own personal astrology. Allow it to light and guide the way. And it's interesting that came out here, because now that I'm saying that, I remember you had a similar message in the other reading. They wanted you to look up, actually, no, that was a different. You may have watched Pile or Group 1. If you watched Group 1, you know what I'm talking about. And they wanted Group 1 to look up Jupiter going direct in Pisces, which was happening at 28 degrees and 47 minutes of Pisces. So you may want to look at your personal chart to see where that is. If you happen to have a Pisces ascendant, that's going to be your 1st house. Well, that's going to be your 1st house in traditional Hellenistic astrology, or Vedic, right? Whole sign. But if you use Placidus or you follow Western astrology, it could be 12th, 1st, or 2nd house, depending on where your house cusps lie. So anyway, let the stars guide you, and you communicate that as well. Communicate any knowledge that you have of that. Interesting, I just noticed something. It looks like there's an eye on the back of this star, or on the back of this charm. Hold on. I don't know if they meant to do that, but oh God, hold on. So as we're talking about, like, express what you know. Hold on, I didn't mean to open TikTok. Express what you know about the stars. We have the song Hail to the King by Avenged Sevenfold, and it starts out by saying, watch your tongue, or have it cut from your head. Save your life by keeping whispers unsaid. Children roam the streets, now orphans of war. Bodies hanging in the streets to adore. And that's coming out when I'm talking about the 3rd house, and letting your planets, or letting the stars guide you. Now we have hail to the king, hail to the one, kneel to the crown, stand in the sun, hail to the king, hail, hail, hail the king. One thing I want to say, okay, it's saying blood is spilt while holding keys to the throne. And we're saying the key to like taking your shot, right? You've got that here maybe for song. But then it also says here, no mercy from the edge of the blade. And you've got a blade right here. Dare escape. Oh, it says blood is spilt while holding keys to the throne, born again, but it's too late to atone. No mercy from the edge of the blade. Dare escape and learn the price to be paid. Interesting. So you need to cut someone out of your life, and it's someone. It could be a romantic partner. It could be someone that's related to a creative pursuit. But whoever it is, it's someone that you see on a regular basis. And if it's not that you have to cut them out of your life, it's that you need to. There's something going on regarding that needs to stop. It needs to be cut off at the source with this particular sword. This is a very fancy sword too. Interesting that we have that song Hail to the King, and this is the type of sword that a, you know, very prominent, like even royalty would carry. So if you have a child who is, you know, or a romantic partner who is very demanding, very, you know, they kind of rule the show, maybe you need to cut that off at the knees, like, you know, I'm just saying. Interesting, very interesting energy. Like my palm is tingling while I say that. It's like very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. I hope that resonates. If it does not, please watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Or also, please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell your friends anything that you can to help me, because it really does help me, and I thank you very much for watching. Hello, group 3. We're going to get charms at the end of the reading, so let's get that out of the way. I remember now, we were meant to... I thought more crystals came out with your pile. I'm surprised there are only 3 here. I don't know why. I thought there was a bunch more. I do remember that more Starseed families wanted to come out, and I wasn't sure at the time if I wanted to pull that many cards. I do kind of feel right now like we might need to. I do have to say that it could be that maybe it's not necessarily that you belong to every Starseed family that's coming through. It could be that maybe you belong to 1 or 2, or maybe, you know, 1 or more, but then you are also dealing with the other Starseed families either on a regular basis, or they're very much entwined with your energy in some way. So before I even flip any of these over, I'm going to go ahead and reshuffle our Starseed family deck, and we're going to pull, you know, at least 1 more, maybe 2. Let's see. There were 2 that wanted to come out, so we'll see what happens. I think what I might want to do is just do the hand over hand until they fall from the deck. Just because it's not me choosing it, it's, you know, it's spirit, or, you know, basically your Starseed family choosing for you. So again, if you're watching this and you're like, well, you know, I feel like these 2 right here are my Starseed family, and the other 2 that come out might be the people around me, because you already know what I'm talking about, go for it. Then you're probably exact. Dude, as I'm saying this, I have the song STFU, which is basically shut the fuck up, right? And it's so interesting that that's coming out as I'm talking about how you're dealing with other people. So maybe you are dealing with people who don't appreciate you or something in some way. Very interesting. Also, there's one particular Starseed family that has not come out yet. And I only notice it because I keep noticing it as I'm looking through the deck to read what the other Starseed families say, and I'm like, huh, that's one that hasn't come out. That's interesting. I wonder if we've gotten all of them, or, you know, if only certain ones, because I haven't really been able to remember each one unless they come out again, right? But it just kind of peeked out at me, and I'm curious to see if it's going to come through in your reading. I actually feel like we need to do these 3. So here we are. We're done. And I just realized there were two groups. Like the other one that didn't come out at any of the readings is now sitting on the bottom of this deck. I don't know if you would deal with them or not as of right, because I did kind of feel like I wanted to look at the bottom of the deck, but I was able to ignore that instinct. Let's see what's here. I may go back and tell you what Starseed family that is, because it might be that when I tell you, you might be like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, so, God, there's a lot here now. So we have the Lyrans, the Venusians. So see, I'm not surprised the Venusians came out. I knew it was going to, because I think maybe whoever your spouse's family is, like there's probably a lot of conflict or something. Like maybe they don't really want to hear your opinion. Oh, interesting. We've got the Syrians. We've got the Alpha Centaurians. We have the Nagas. Look at twice now. We've got a couple or like a romantic partner coming through. So I think definitely you, and whatever you were doing, you're very connected to another person, more than likely a romantic partner. So let's bring it in now. We've got the blue avians, and I have to say every single one of these starseed families feels very high vibrational. We do have the song, hold on, Demons by Imagine Dragons, and it's exactly 5:50 p.m., so 550. Let's go ahead and read them. There's a whole bunch here, so we might be here for a while. Let's read these first before we get to the crystals. This feels very high vibrational, unconditional love. But then we have that song, STFU. Either you watching this don't want to hear what I have to say, or somebody around you does not want to hear what you have to say. Okay, we're going to read them in order this way. And by the way, the one that I was talking about that I've seen peeking through was the Ebens or Eben, I don't know how to say that, or extraterrestrial biological entity. Whatever, that's the only one that has not come out so far, but it was peeking through. It just didn't come out here. This one was another one that I haven't seen, I don't think, in any of the previous readings, but here it is now in yours. So okay, so the Lyrans. It says the feline Lyrans are sometimes referred to. Sorry, I wanted to make sure that it was actually recording, because I thought I was recording the last one and I wasn't. Okay, it says the feline Lyrans are sometimes referred to as lion people or cat people. The Lyran civilization originates from the North Lyra constellation, which also contains Vega. The Lyran genotype was often the dominant original mother genotype used in ancient starseed projects of cosmos, as they are one of the oldest bloodlines in the Milky Way galaxy. It came out first too, which doesn't really surprise me with this, the way this energy is. Okay, hold on. It says many ETs within the Milky Way galaxy are ancestrally related to the ancient Lyrans. Okay, so you probably do belong to two starseed families yourself. It says they usually stand 6 to 10 feet tall and are solid to muscular in build. Their complexions vary anywhere from light golden amber to darker chocolate brown hues. Some Lyrans have strawberry blonde to vibrant ginger red hair. The darker Lyrans have dark to black hair. Lyran flesh is covered in a light, soft type of fuzz, but it's not actual fur. They have feline-type eyes and slightly pointed ears, set higher on their heads. The Lyrans have battled many bloody cosmic wars in the past with Orion, Alpha Draconian, and Reptilian empires. Lyrans they live a harmonious lifestyle and practice careful biodiversity of their ecosystem. Prior to the Egyptian pyramids ever being built, the ancient Egyptian Sphinx was built by the Lyrans and other visitors of the time during the Leo 2,000-year constellation time phase of the precession of the equinoxes. Lyrans do not suffer fools gladly and are an honest, open, bold, and proud race. They are known to be combative and fiery for matters they value dearly, while also being warm and affectionate. It is said the Lyrans have one of the most extensive collections of ancient cosmic history in our galaxy. Today they are mostly considered a retired, honorable race and hold great prestige in galactic councils. So the card meaning is strength, courage, bravery, defiance, proud, bold, affectionate, library, respect, honor, ancestors. In the reverse, it is cold, cruel, closed, weak, and cowardly. You know, I said in the beginning I was going to read them this way. I actually feel like these two are connected, and then these two are connected, and then these two are connected. So we're going to read it that way. Even though these two are connected, it feels like it's two separate forms of like maybe these are the two people, but then here's one person, here's one, like these are the two people, and let me explain how I'm feeling this. Like if this is a marriage, you have your masculine and here's your feminine energy. Whether, even if you are a same-sex marriage, one person is going to be more masculine, one person is going to be more feminine. It's just how, you know, people have a balance of both masculine and feminine in their personality, but most people are going to have, they're going to express in one way or another, right? And so one person has masculine energy, one person has feminine, and they are actually, if you were to hold them like this, they're kind of looking at each other too as well. So I feel like this is the couple, but then, so this is going to be personality traits here, right? The personality traits of the masculine are going to come through here. The personality traits of the feminine are going to come through here. But then when you break it down over here, then you have, again, and I don't know which is which, although I kind of feel like this might be the feminine and this might be the masculine, but I could be wrong. You'll have to take it however it resonates once you hear. But I think these are the star families that these two people belong to, but this is something about either personality traits, what they do, something like that, right? Take it however it resonates. You'll know more than I will. It's just how it feels to me, the way that it should be grouped. It feels like these two are together, but then it gets broken down further into another two groups, this way and this way. But these two also are together in the same way these two are together, if that makes sense, okay? So let's go ahead and read the Syrians energy now, Syrians A. And we've had a couple of songs that have caught my attention, but I've been talking that I couldn't, I was either reading or talking. So we have the song Do It Right by Don Tolliver. And now we have Nowhere Fast, Incubus. Okay, the Syrian A beings come from the brilliant and brightest star in our skies, Sirius Dog Star, which is in the Canis Major binary system, possibly trinary, 9 light years from Earth. The planet's name originated from ancient Greek Sirios for scorcher, and is mentioned in Surah chapter 53 of the Quran, titled The Mighty Star and Lord of Sirius. Ancient Egyptian goddess Sopdet and later Isis was queen of Sirius. Greek goddess Sothis was also of Sirius. The sixth-dimensional Syrian beings are benevolent, loyal, spiritual warriors who bear service to others. They are disciplined, reserved, and have self-mastery of healthy detachment, connection to all, and integrity. They have strong ties with Mother Earth's oceanic realm. They're calm, non-political, watery, and non-confrontational, yet can defend themselves easily if need be. They value honesty and transparency and prefer symbols to words. They are lovers of music, sacred geometry, and singing. The Sirian A beings, like the avian blue beings, right here, live within the raw law of one principles and practices. Sirian A beings visited Earth during ancient seeding projects and later worked with Egyptian, Sumerian, Incan, Mayan, and other ancient civilizations. Ancient Mayan legends say the Sirian A beings were the keepers of the 13 crystal skulls. The Sirian A beings were also involved in ancient cosmic wars with the Orion Alpha Draconian Empire. Cetacean, dolphin, whale, mermaid heritage originates from Sirius A. And you know what? That makes so much sense in a Pisces reading. Oh my God. Okay, so the Sirian A beings are a complex hybrid collection of species. Those usually stand 6 to 7 feet tall. They have a vast array of skin colors, from brown to very dark complexions to gray-bluish tones. Many have large protruding brains on the upper back of their skull. The amphibian genotype of Sirian A beings have webbed toes and fingers and a diversity of aquatic features. The card meaning is artistic, music, integrity. Oh my God, this so sounds like Pisces. Honesty, truth, gracious, serious, transparency, ocean creatures, merchants, traders, crystals, singing, accomplishment, success, commitment, loyalty. In the reverse, it's disloyal. There's repressed emotions. They're non-committed, concealing, commitment phobic, aloof, and indifferent. Okay, so let's move on to the Venusians now. So the Venusian and Alpha Centaurian, I think that's one person, that's their star family combination, and the other one is going to be the Nagas with blue avians. Okay. So the Venusians. The Venusians are humanoid extraterrestrials, and I feel like the Venusian belongs to the Syrians. Like the Syrian person is going to be the one that most resonates here, but I could be wrong. It just, again, take it however, it's just the way that it feels. It feels like it goes like this. I don't know. It's just, the Venusians are humanoid extraterrestrials that live on our Venus sister planet within our solar system. Venusians are descendants from the Lyra system. Ooh, interesting. From the Lyra race. Oh, very interesting. I had no idea. Okay, Venus is extremely hot and on third dimensional realms uninhabitable by human standards. However, Venus is teeming with exuberant life and highly evolved civilizations. Venus has sophisticated environmental technologies that protect its colonies. These beautiful people coexist in complete harmony. Venus has no wars, is completely egalitarian, and has neither money systems nor fraud. We have the song Put That Woman First by Jaheim. Similar to their distant cosmic cousins, the Pleiadians, the Venusians also have a tarnished history. Eons ago, before they collectively shifted their consciousness and frequencies, the Venusians' egos nearly wiped their entire bloodline out and almost totally destroyed their own home planet, which forced them to wake up and ascend. Venusians reside in the higher astral realms of the fourth dimension, which somewhat parallels in appearance to the third, only more alive, luminous, and enlightened. Due to their activated consciousness, they are able to be fully present in their etheric light body form if they desire. They can also manifest into their 3D material body if they choose. They are very psychic and extremely empathetic. They are masters of manifestation. A structured form of telepathy is used for communication within the Venusian community. While in their astral form, they do not eat actual food, but rather absorb energy as a form of sustenance and nutrition. Many Venusians visit, and some are contracted to live here on Earth. The harsh densities of Earth can make the initial 3D transition difficult for them. Valiant Thor was one well-known Venusian that worked at the Pentagon in the early 60s during the Eisenhower presidency. The Venusians are energetically and deeply connected with the heart vibrations of unconditional love and are participating in assisting the conscious awakening of the Earthlings. The card meaning is romance, unconditional love, empathy, soulmates, twin flames, mutual attraction, true love, open heart, dating and courting, marriage and self-love, and in the reverse it's unrequited love, infatuation or a crush, obsession, heartbreak, a closed heart, and a breakup. Okay, now we have the Alpha Centaurians. Alpha Centaurians reside at Centaurus constellation, located between Lupus and Vela constellations. It is said Alpha Centaurians will only make contact with humans during specific cosmic timings, and only with humans that have developed good enough conscious awareness to not agitate the higher violet frequency bandwidth they are accustomed to. Sources suggest Alpha Centaurians are intolerant of disrespect and overly idealized fantasies that are not in keeping with natural law. They stand 5.5 to 8 feet in height with a humanoid appearance and some aquatic-type features and organs. They have webbed fingers and toes. Their flesh is usually pale bluish with a soft, smooth, scale-like quality. Many have long hair. Their eyes are large in proportion, bulging and roundish, and they usually have an athletic build. Visitors typically wear simple, flowing clothing. They are very straightforward and direct communicators when negotiating, yet always respectful. All Alpha Centaurians are vegetarian or vegan with a strict diet. They also cannot bear Earth's intense sunlight. Some Alpha Centaurians occupy small, deep ocean regions on Earth and are often associated with the Garthan USO phenomena. They are highly advanced and are strong allies with Sirians, Pleiadians, and Venusians. So I thought so. I thought these were connected, even though it says the Venusians are descendant of Lyrans. We have the song The Outside by 21 Pilots. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the Nagas and the Blue Avians. I know there are some people that probably don't like listening to others read when it comes to these readings, but you know, then I know that there are also those that will want to hear what's being said. So, you know, I'm going to try and do this as quickly as I can. So we have ancient Hindu and Buddhist texts speak of the semi-divine serpent beings called Nagas, which is Sanskrit for serpent. The Nagas are described as powerful, very beautiful, and highly advanced snake or reptoid beings that are advantageous to humans while also dangerously fearsome and temperamental if provoked. Also makes sense why these two are together. I don't know why, it just feels like it's connected. Ancient iconography depicts the Nagas with upper human faces and torsos and snake bodies from the waist down. Nagas is male and Naginis is female. Some suggest the Nagas could be a human hybridized genotype from the Alpha Draconian race. Like the Alpha Draconians, Nagas have the capacity to shapeshift into total human form. The Naga's full form is the fourth dimensional and not visible to the average low third vibrational human sensory perception. The Hindu epic poem, the Mahabharata, makes references to the Nagas. Many ancient iconographies and texts around the world depict powerful serpent beings, including Quetzalcoatl from Mexico, the rainbow serpent from Aboriginal Australia, and Greek god Glykon and goddess Echidna. Being subterranean, the Nagas prefer to mostly reside in the deep, dense oceanic waters or subterranean citadels or talalas away from human populations. They are highly protective of their private environments. Unlike the terra firma walking, talking humanoids, Nagas are more comfortable inhabiting the subtle, sensual energy fields where they fluidly regenerate their inbuilt elixir or nectar of immortality from the depths of the ocean. Very scorpionic energy. So the card meaning is tantra, erotica, sensuality, lovers, sexual union, and this makes so much sense with the Lyrans because the Lyrans are cat-like, very sensual. Vitality, seductive, kundalini, healthy lust, and desire. Whoever this is could have Leo in their chart as well. Like in their top three, or like maybe Leo Venus or something. So in the reverse, they're frigid, there's sexual frustration, celibacy, third-party situation, abstinence. They're temperamental. With abstinence, that's making me come back to Scorpio with this energy also. So Scorpio or Leo. We have temperamental, sexual issues, lower chakra blockages, and sexual inappropriateness. Interesting. So now let's go to the Blue Avians. It says blue avians are mammalian humanoid ETs with bird-like features. Their origins are unclear. Encounter reports claim they are now from another multiverse, though originated from our local star clusters. Blue avians have some resemblance to the offshoot of Lyran genetic lineage known as bird people. The blue avian are 6th to 9th density dimensional, meaning dimensional. They're tall with slender body frames. They are covered in soft bluish to indigo feather down. They have a cool, calm, and diplomatic nature with a profound and intelligent understanding of ontological, philosophical, and metaphysical phenomena. And I don't know why, there's something about it, like I'm feeling like something like law enforcement, men in blue or something, whatever, take that however it resonates. They are well versed on the law of one material, the Egyptian sunbird god Ra. So the law coming up here as well. They're remarkable time-traveling explorers using spherical orb teleportation technology. Blue avian ETs have been referenced in many ancient mythological documentation, including Mayan, Egyptian, Hindu, and Babylonian literature and artifacts. The blue avian archetype coincides with what history labels angels and are known as the ancient builder race and architects of this quadrant of the universe. The blue avian's mission is largely to protect all of life and assist in the development of human ascension. I'm so not surprised because everything here feels very like high vibrational. So the card meaning is inner work, philosophy, esoteric knowledge, releasing karma, mysticism, ascension, divine masculine, self-discovery, scholar, intellect, study, education, diplomatic, and science. And then in the reverse, it's exoteric, meaning in the outer world rather than inner. Outer focused, ignorant, messiah complex, information overload, which is so, it makes so much sense because look at how many cards came through. We haven't even gotten to this. Plus I'm supposed to be going to 2 other decks and charms. This read is going to take forever. I think I'm probably going to skip some of that because we don't want information overload, right? Karma is also, when it's in the reverse, non-qualification or non-qualified, and then mainstream when it's in the reverse. Okay, so let's look at our crystals. We're not going to get any extra crystals because we've got more than enough cards here. Oh, look at Boji Stone with Hemimorphite and Tanzanite. God, this combination. Whatever work that you're doing, I think you and your partner work together on something to really, you're like raising the vibe, you're raising the consciousness, you do something. Like maybe, I feel like you either organize events or you do something like, or there's something that you do to raise the vibration of people, not just one person, like people. And then look at, remember what it was saying with the blue avians with angelic energy, and then Tanzanite says angelic messenger. Hemimorphite talks about the egoless state, and then Boji Stone is about balance, alignment, being in alignment in clarity, right? Very, very high vibrational energy. We have the song, It Just Won't Quit, Meatloaf. Oh my God, it just won't quit. This reading is going on forever, right? It started with STFU, shut the fuck up. Now it just won't quit. Either somebody is tired of hearing me talk or something. Maybe somebody doesn't want to hear you talk, or maybe you just won't quit, or maybe you were trying to create a legacy for something that keeps going. You want something to not end. That could be, especially if you're creating, like if you organize some kind of event or something, I don't know why I feel like you and a partner organize events or something. If that's you and your partner organizing events, you want it to be like a legacy. You want it to be like passed on to someone else, right? I think that is definitely what you're meant to do with this. I think it's definitely what you're meant to do with this knowledge, with this energy. It wouldn't come through so high vibrational if that wasn't the case. And I feel like, especially if okay, so like if you organize events, especially if you organize like Starseed events, right? Or something like that, something that raises the consciousness where you're trying to get information out there of some kind, and it's obviously some type of spiritual information, right? Angelic information or an angelic message that requires you to be balanced in some way. Maybe people didn't want to listen to you before. Like maybe this is something you've been trying to do for a while and everybody's like, oh my God, like who cares? Like is she still, or is he still, or are they still, because this is, are they still, like when are they going to give up? I don't think you're going to give up. I think this is definitely what you're meant to do. I do want to get, because of the whole, like this is an alien reading, we got this alien questionable deck. Let's get some, we want to get some like confirmation or any clarification or whatever from this deck here. Let's see what it has to say. So since those fell out, I think we're going to read those. I went to pick them up and they literally... Oh, now we have the King of Swords on the bottom of the deck. See his third eye there? See how he's got his eyes closed, but that third eye is wide open? The problem with this being in the reverse... Well, number one, I forgot to fix my deck from the previous Group 2 reading for Pisces, and I accidentally flipped some of my cards around. And then I remember saying in that reading, like, I don't read reversals because I really don't. I typically like to keep all of my cards in the upright, and then if they fall on the table from my deck in the reverse, I will read it in the reverse. If for some reason it comes out of my deck in the reverse and I wasn't expecting it, like right now, where it's simply because I forgot to fix it, I thought I was prepared, I was not prepared. Interestingly enough, that is the exact message of this card when it's in the reverse. It's like not planning properly. You're not putting the correct strategy in place, or there's something about the planning wasn't, like there wasn't a whole lot. Oh, look at there poor planning and poor judgment. Especially if this is like something with a family where you're trying to get your kids to follow in your footsteps, or you want to be able to do something that becomes like a legacy that, right, like your kids aren't interested. We're not going to read, like, we're not going to keep, well, actually, see, it stops there. Interesting. Let's go ahead, even though they're all, I didn't want to read every single one that was upside down, but let's do it. Especially because look at, now we've got the Hermit here. The Hermit is about like going within to like really, see what it is that your higher self is trying to tell you, right? And it's obvious that he's like way, like he's in dreamland in this card. Like he's either... And look at, there's a number 1, or it looks like a number 1 on this. So this is a dream about how to be the best, how to be number 1 at something, right? And maybe people don't want to hear what you have to say. Hold on, what is this song? Popular Monster, Falling in Reverse. Interesting. Oh my God, that's so funny. Like, dude, all of these in reverse. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, and we're talking about wanting to be number 1. That's the reason that it caught my attention, because it was saying something about, like, it's, hold on, let me see what it says. Hold on. Come on. I hate it when it takes forever. It was at the chorus. It was saying, I'm a popular monster, but what I heard was I'm popular, as I was looking at it, and I was seeing the number 1 on this thing that he's holding in his hand. So again, just take that however it resonates. You know, you can't make this shit up. You know, if it happens in the reading, it's meant to be in the reading. So we're going to read them all upside down. So there's poor judgment because of improper planning. Maybe if you're trying to build a legacy, either the memories aren't like it hasn't been all that fun, or the people that you're trying to leave it to, especially if it's your kids, they're not interested. There's, with the Four of Cups in the reverse, that's actually bringing passion back to a situation or being inspired again. But, well, so it's like a situation coming back around, or a second chance at something, right? But then we have the Ace of Swords in the reverse and the Magician in the reverse, and this is like a loss. Now, the interesting thing about all of this is that all of this is past energy, right? So this card is the most prominent energy, the most prevalent energy, but these two over here that are a loss are the weakest energies. So they happen the furthest back, or they happen like in terms of time frame. This would have happened first. There's a loss, but then you get a second chance at something. But somebody is not interested, or like maybe it's not as much fun as you think it is because there's poor judgment and improper planning, or the strategy, or there's something about the strategy and if it's not the strategy, and the only reason I'm saying strategy is because of this third eye. The other meaning of the King of Swords in the reverse is someone who's cold, cruel. They are manipulative, they're narcissistic, their words are cutting and harsh, they're difficult to deal with. So that could be the reason why, oh, and you were prepared. I think you were prepared. You saw the loss coming with this Tower in the reverse and the Hermit. You saw the loss coming, by the way. But anyway, so that maybe that's the reason that things haven't been so fun with the second chance for whatever you're trying to do here. But let's look at the cards that... We have the song Lovely by Billie Eilish and Khalid. Okay, so we have the Hierophant, the Two of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, and then the Seven of Pentacles. There are a lot of reversals in this reading, and like I said, I don't read reversals. The only reason that they're there is because in the last reading, I had forgot to clear the deck from Group 1's reading. And what would be very interesting to me is if you happen to have watched all three, then maybe it was meant to be that way, right? Like, but if not, you know, it's still meant to be, but just in a different way. So here it is again, where I say you've got some wisdom that you're trying to share to people. You see the people, here you are. But you're juggling too many things, and some things are falling by the wayside, which is the energy of this Two of Pentacles in the reverse. You haven't been meditating as you should. Again, if you watched any of the other readings, you know exactly what I mean when I say it was meant to happen this way. And then with the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, it's saying you are so impatient for success, right? You're not paying attention to the small details, which is what they're talking about right here. They really want you to meditate, get yourself back into this energy here, because as you can see from this Eight of Pentacles, she kind of looks like she's in the same lotus position, but she's got this pentacle sitting in front of her that she's working on. That's the energy of the Eight of Pentacles, putting in a lot of work and effort to master your craft. Well, when it's in the reverse, you have not mastered your craft. That's the reason that the King of Swords is in the reverse as well, talking about poor planning or poor strategy, and then there's poor judgment as well. So take that however it resonates, but they definitely want you to meditate, get yourself back into balance, and stop being so impatient, because you're missing the small details by being impatient. They want you to enjoy the ride. it's apparently going to be very, very fun. And while we're sitting here, I'm going to fix this deck so that we don't have any other cards in the reversal that I can see right off the bat. Before we move on quickly to your charms. So the charms are going to look at what it is you need to be aware of regarding this energy over the next month. We have the song Name by Goo Goo Dolls. Oh, I just dropped my phone. Jeez. Okay. It's very interesting that all of the letters came up in the upright. Everything on the board fell in the upright, except for the $100 bill, and that came out over your second and third houses. But everything else is in the upright, which is very rare in a charm reading. Especially, like, if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know it doesn't happen often that they all come out in the upright, meaning that you're aware and paying attention to everything that's happening. You're aware of it all. You probably will know exactly what I'm talking about when I bring up the, what I'm going to say about each of these initials, but maybe not. Some of it, like this, you might not be aware of. Some of it might be a surprise, but we'll see. And I say that because of this particular rune here, but we'll get to that in just a second. So anything that falls in the center is the main message for what you need to be aware of over the next month. And you have the day rune. You also have the key to faith. And you have this tiny little piece of tourmalated quartz. So tourmalated quartz, clear quartz is a master healer. It gets your, it connects to and balances every, the entire chakra system. And then the tourmaline comes in behind it and carries light down through the chakra system, through the striations along the tourmaline, down into your chakra body to keep them balanced. So that's how it protects you. So this is a very healing and protective type of stone. It's a very good stone to keep on hand. But to have the day rune come out with it, it's saying meditation, getting yourself clear is what you need to pay attention to. And that's also going to be the key to, these three houses here being 7th, 8th, and 9th houses. So let's go over what those houses are. 7th house would be the house of partnerships. This can be marriage or business partnerships, contracts, anyone that you are promised to or responsible for. This can also be those people who oppose you, because this is the 7th house, which is directly across from you, which is the 1st house. So you know that these people oppose you. You know that they're your enemies, or they're not going to be your friend at least, right? Or they're your frenemy. So they're asking you to have faith. The key to accomplishing whatever you're trying to do is to have faith, right? The 8th house is the house of joint resources. It's the house of sex. It's the house of death. It's the house of transformation, meaning new beginnings. It's also where you inherit things from your ancestors, as well as the house of mediumship, because it's connected to death. So again, have faith. That's going to be the key to whatever situation is happening around those those areas. And then with the 9th house, this is going to be your higher self. Again, you need to meditate, so they want you to have faith. Maybe you don't like to meditate. I don't think so, though, based on what we've already seen, like all of this higher vibrational energy. I feel like, mainly what this is talking about is 8th house energy, but beyond that, there is a little bit hitting your 7th house of partnerships and a little bit hitting your 9th house. So maybe there's something you need to study. Maybe there are some legal issues that are connected to this poor planning, something, right? That you need to have faith in that area. That's going to be the key to accomplishing whatever it is that you're doing. Like, do not give up. So beyond that, let's take these off to the side. Beyond that, we have, coming into your first house, a piece of blue apatite, and then we have the letter E. So anything that comes into the first house is going to affect you personally, right? It can affect your body, but I think this is more about what you need to say. And if you're like, you're either communicating to or about this E. Okay, person, place, or thing. Very important that you pay attention to what you're saying and how you communicate, okay? And then with the money coming in upside down, this is the only thing on your board that came upside down, and this is the $100 bill. I think there have been a lot of expenses attached to whatever you're doing, because this is the second house, which is where your money can be found. And so any money upside down says there's money leaving the second house. But beyond that, because it's also connected to your third house, that means maybe the money is going to your neighbors or your siblings or something like that, your peers, something connected to whatever it is that you're trying to do. But maybe you're losing because of how you're communicating. Maybe that's costing you. Maybe that's where the expense is coming in. It could also be like maybe you need to pay money for advertisement if you're trying to organize something, and maybe it's not, there's something about the planning. Maybe that's how that's coming in, like there's the cost of advertising or something. For the fourth house, we have the letters J and D. So J is going to affect anything around your home or that has to do with your security or your family. Can also be like parents, mainly mother, but you know, whichever parent was more nurturing and loving to you. So again, person, place, or thing that's going to be important to that area with the letter J. And then several months out, being, I would say at least 6 months out, we've got the letter D that they want you to be aware of, that's going to affect all of this stuff here in the fourth house, the security. So now when we have the song You Broke Me First by Tate McRae. So interesting that that's coming out when we're talking about here, but also fifth and sixth houses, we have the letter B, and then we have the rune of the hailstorm, right? Destruction. But it's also the rune of creativity, and it's actually coming out in what I call the neutral position, because it was sideways. Now, it doesn't really have an up or reverse, because either way it looks the same. But when it's like this, it's neutral. So the danger has been neutralized, like there's no danger, but also the creativity has been neutralized when it's in that position. And this is the house of creativity, the fifth house. B is somehow attached to this. Also, what you're doing with your time each day or your health is attached to this in some way. So take it however it resonates. When we come up to your 11th house, we've got the entwined hearts. I think there's love coming in to your, either from a friend or from your friend's circle within several months from the time that you watch this. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that here. I hope it resonates. If it does not, please watch for your sun, moon, or rising. We have the song Fire by The Score to close out the reading. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell your friends anything that you can to help me, because it really does help me, and I thank you very much for watching.